Tonight is our first in a series of CEO Connects. Lifestyle Magazine already brings the community together with our printed pages and with our online presence. What we wanted to do was take that and do it in a live format. So tonight, our first interview is going to be with Terry Stiles, who really is the man that built Broward. Terry Stiles really exemplifies business in Broward. While Terry's built in other counties and all across the country, his real focus has been Broward County. And when you take a look at the landscape of Fort Lauderdale and the large buildings in Fort Lauderdale, and before that, building out Cypress Creek, he's really had more of an imprint on our business community than any other developer by far. It's about the community, but it's also about the achievement and success that these folks have had. And really what we want to do is, when we have a top-level group like we're going to have tonight, we want to educate them. How have others succeeded in the past so they can bring more things to the table for themselves and their own companies? Terry's an old friend. You know, most of you guys know I published the Business Journal for about 15 years. And we did a lot of stuff together. And Terry's always been just a great friend to me and really to this community. And you know, what we want to do here is kind of have an informal conversation and you'll get to learn a little bit more about Terry as a person and Terry, you know, as a business person.
In '71, we had two carpenters and a laborer, and basically I was the laborer, and so that was the whole company. Plus we had a 94-year-old receptionist, bookkeeper, who never really realized that I worked there. So after my dad had passed away, it was kind of like, what the hell are we going to do now? And for probably at least 2 years, we scrambled around doing small jobs. I'd hired a buddy of mine that just came back from Vietnam. And our first deal was a $248 service fee to hang Elliot Barnett's front door on Federal Highway, and they only had about 4 offices, and that's how small they were. So it was a struggle. We were fortunate. My father, who had been building some small warehouses and some lumber yards for his friend Bob and Michael, actually used us to finish one lumber yard.
I remember people thinking, why would anybody want to work out, you know, in Southwest Broward? But you made a bet and it paid off.
Wayne Rouse, the same guy that gave me the option, called me up and said, "You're crazy to go out there. There's nothing out there." And it was pretty interesting. At that time, 136th Avenue was 2-lane to Sunrise. Sunrise only went for about a block in each direction. You couldn't get over the canal at about 2 blocks to the east. There was no sawgrass. And 595 was still State Road 84, and there was no I-75. It was coming. We knew it was coming. But it was very interesting. Plus, we had to assemble 5 pieces of property. One was with the Teamsters. Anybody hear from the Teamsters? Good. The deal was $2 million down, close in about an hour and a half, no due diligence. So we had to do all our due diligence, offer the contract up, and that's how we got one of the parcels. But it was interesting. It was the old Rakehout Milgo plant out there, which we own today. We bought the Sawgrass Technology Center, but that was the only thing out there. And so it's become pretty much the center of Fort Lauderdale, or Broward County. And what's really kind of got us through some of this recession is the fact that we're the largest automobile design build company in Southeast United States. We built about 105. So about 4 years ago, we decided that we had to get out there and promote our third-party work as well as go after some governmental work. And we did that. And the other thing we did is realizing that there's going to be some opportunities in the real estate world. Denny O'Shea, our general counsel, actually, we had him promote himself as a receiver. And so we started taking over projects for Bank Atlantic, BBX, Prudential, Wells Fargo, Bank United. And so therefore we started bringing in a lot of third-party work. When he was a receiver, he could appoint us as property manager and leasing agent. And it also gave us an insight to acquiring properties at discounted rates. They are one of the most philanthropic companies down here, and you know, they have their team working on community stuff as well as putting money into it. I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for doing this. It was fun.